concrete.
Just trying to share this real quick. Y'all check out this instrumental produced by yours truly.
Recordings just got better. Hey, it's Dana from StreamYard. I'm so excited to announce that local recordings are now available on StreamYard. Have you ever done a recording where your guest just...
Sorry about that, y'all. Good morning, good morning. Good morning, good morning. This that Cafe Bustelo, or I guess in Spanish they probably pronounce it Bustelo. It's espresso coffee. Fire. I like my coffee strong. but flavorful. I like them high-end coffees and shit. I'm trying all types of shit. I got a few favorite brands, but that's what I drink at the crib when I'm not at a coffee shop. So, Israel versus Palestine. Now, I'm just pulling from online to find sources and stuff for y'all this morning because this was spur of the moment. And what triggered this response from me was the overwhelming response from the Black community surrounding the conflict in Israel. And that sentiment mostly has been that we don't have no horse in that race, that we need to mind our own business and we need to worry about Black people, worry about ourselves. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't really surprise me, except that I'd be willing to bet that most of the people who express that sentiment ain't even worried about Black people as a whole. They just worried about themselves. I bet you them same motherfuckers that's saying that, half of them, when we have a conflict here, they ain't gonna do shit about that neither. They ain't worried about that neither. That'd be a lot of lip service, right? And then the ones who do it in the name of Black pride, Black consciousness, those who are activists, those who are what you would consider pro-Black, I think they mean well, but maybe just a little bit off base and unaware of what has really taken place in the past, what's going on now, the prophecy that's going to be fulfilled through this and that is being fulfilled, and how it affects them. They don't really have no idea. Because to know the history of Israel is to know Black history. The only reason the two are separate is because another group of people have come in and attached themselves to the history, to the country. But you have to know. Okay, first of all, let me just go here. So in St. Louis, most of the stores in the Black community, the corner stores, markets, confectionaries, and stuff like that, are owned or run by Arabs, right? So they come from all over the Middle East too. Palestine, Pakistan, Iraq, Afghanistan. I know some of them from all over, right? But my Palestinian partner, whose name I won't say, for example, I asked him one day, right? Because see, I know the history, right? I just want to get his insight on it and to let him know that I knew, right? And I was like, what's the real reason why your people don't like the Israelis? What's the real reason why y'all want them out of Israel and y'all say that they shouldn't be there? And he jokingly responded, because they left Black and came back white, the Jews. And then he gave me that look and he said, we, meaning my people and his people, have been in that land since Lord knows when. So when you guys left, that was supposed to have been our land. That was our land already. We shared it. So they came and they took it, and they shouldn't have it. They're not supposed to be there. They are not the Jews. That's what he said. That's what the Palestinian guy said. I'm sure by now, every Black person who is competent who has ears to hear and eyes to see know what the big conversation swirling around our community is, and have heard some utterances about Black people being Jews. This isn't foreign to you. This conversation isn't foreign to you. What does that fall into your ideology as far as your response to what's going on in Israel and how Black people don't? I would ask anybody who says that Black people don't have anything to do with this conflict in Israel, what are your views on the conversation surrounding Black people being the real Israelites and really being from Jerusalem prior to Africa, prior to West, South, and Central Africa, all over Africa, actually, prior to anywhere where we got scattered? What would be your response to that? And then when you're having that conversation, then can you separate the two? Because you know your neck bone's connected to your shoulder bone's connected to your chest bone, your chest bone's connected to your, yeah. So just because there's distance and just because there's time in between Israel and the Blacks of the United States doesn't mean all of that stuff doesn't have a trickle-down effect and isn't all connected and all related. In world history, American history, Black history, all of that shit fits together like a puzzle. Now, I use the word unaware so won't nobody feel sensitive, feel targeted or triggered and want to get mad and start insulting me because the truth hurts. But anybody who takes that position is just unaware, unlearned, and you just don't know the true facts about Black Americans, so-called Black Americans concerning the nation of Israel. The Israelite people, not the Israelis, but the Israelites of antiquity, those people who they talked about in the Bible, right? Because see, we ain't got to get all deep into religion. We're not going to get deep into religion, but I got to use this to make it make sense. You know how people say, make it make sense, right? Now we know that the Bible is the book of the Israelites, right? The Torah, the gospel, all that comes from the Israelites people. Notice I didn't say Israelis because it predates all of that, right? The people in that book, the people who wrote that book, and believe it or not, even though y'all think white people might have wrote it, translated it, changed it, and all that, those people were like you and me. Well, I don't know who you are, but they look like me. Okay, and I can prove that. So that being said, let's see what this is not necessarily for people who believe the Bible. This is not to sell you on the Bible or none of that, right? But the people who wrote, let's see what the people who wrote the Bible said about themselves. Okay, let's give you a description of the people in the Bible, not necessarily people who wrote it, but characters in the Bible, people who wrote the Bible, and what they say about themselves and their identity in the Bible. Give me 1 second. Because see, your church ain't going to show you this. They're not going to show you this. Let me take you to Revelation chapter 1, verses 14 through 16. Give me 1 second. Watch this. And I use the 1611 King James Bible. Why do I use the 1611 King James Bible? This may be a point of contention. Here's why. Number one, King James wasn't white. Number two, King James was an Israelite from the tribe of Judah. Number two, he did not write the Bible. He commissioned scholars to translate and print the Bible so that everybody could have a copy of it, because the Catholic Church was trying to do some things that our people didn't approve of with our history. So the 1611 King James is the closest to the original text, the Dead Sea Scrolls, the Gospel, and all of that, right? And we do include the Apocrypha because we don't give our oppressors the right to say what should be included in our history and what shouldn't. In 1789 or whenever it was that they said that the Apocrypha couldn't be included in the Bible and shit, we like, who are y'all to say? We wrote all of that. It's relevant to us. So that being said, the 1611 King James Bible, all them other versions, would the Bible been written so many times? So we know what's the real one. We know what the truth is. We don't care about the NIV, the ESV, all of that stuff that wasn't even written by our people, that changes the words and tries to paraphrase the Bible. So 1611 King James Bible. Watch this. Watch this. Revelation chapter 1 and verse 14. Now, let me get the context here, because it just starts off with his head. Oh, this is the description of Christ. This is the biblical description of Christ. Let's start off with chapter 10. Yeah. I mean, not chapter 10. We're still in chapter 1. Let's start with verse 10, right? Right here. I was in the spirit on the Lord's day and heard behind me a great voice as of a trumpet saying, I am Alpha and Omega, the first and the last, and what thou seest, write in a book and send it unto the seven churches which are in Asia, unto Ephesus, and unto Smyrna, and unto Pergamos, and unto Thyatira, and unto Sardis, and Philadelphia, and unto Laodicea, and turned to see the voice that spake with me. And being turned, I saw 7 golden candlesticks. Now, this is the Alpha and Omega talking, saying these things. And the person giving the description to John is turning and telling what he saw. And in the midst of the 7 candlesticks, one like unto the Son of Man, which would be so-called Jesus. And he's saying that he has always been here, Alpha and Omega. That's prior to his conception. Clothed with a garment down to the foot, and girt about the paps with a golden girdle, and girt about the paps with a golden girdle. A garment with a golden girdle. His head and his hairs were white like wool, as white as snow, and his eyes were as a flame of fire. Right? Now, a lot of people debate on that. It doesn't say that his hair was like wool. It says that it was white like wool. It could have been white in another texture, right? Okay. Well, let's clear that up. And his feet like unto fine brass. What color is brass? It has a goldish brownish look. It's like a tan, as if they were burned in a furnace. That's the part that everybody want to leave out, right? All the Jews were olive colored. They wasn't black or white. There was a tan color. They were light brown. They look like the people in the Middle East. He's a Jew. He look like the Jews now. They aren't black or white. Listen, if you take some brass and you burn it in a furnace, what you gonna get? Right? What you gonna get? You're not gonna get what you see in Israel right now. Now you can say you ain't gonna get this, and you can say it ain't us all you want, but it's sure the hell ain't who you see over there now. Let me continue. And his eyes were like flame of fire, and his feet as if they burned in a furnace, and his voice as the sound of many waters. That means he had a loud, booming voice. He wasn't some soft-spoken, quiet Negro. Just thought I might show y'all that. Right? For those of us who think it's a game. All right, now, you don't have to follow the Bible. You don't have to be Christian. Well, Christians don't follow the Bible, no way. At least the Christian church doesn't. I won't attack individuals because Christian means follower of Christ. So anybody who identifies as an Israelite, identifies the Bible as being true and living, is supposed to be a follower of Christ. It's Christian by definition. But the organization, the Christianity, the entity, the power structure, not what's up, does not follow the Bible at all. Because you'll go to a church and they'll give you a Bible that says this and a picture that looks totally different. But then when you ask about it and stuff, you wrong and that don't make sense and something they want to spin you. Like, come on now. And we've been falling for that bull crap and don't want to question nothing. We just been rocked to sleep, right? So another example. From the people of Israel, of the Bible, Israelites, concerning who they were and what they looked like. I'm going to take you to 1 Corinthians chapter 10 and verse 4. Okay, here we go. Chapter 10. No, that's one of the wrong ones. That's not related to that. That's from another lesson. Hold on. Let me see. Romans 9:13. I'm still learning too. These was all pointed out to me to study. Got to study to show thyself approved. But you don't have to believe in the Bible or believe that it's a religious book or follow it or nothing to recognize that the people who wrote it, what they said about themselves. You know what I'm saying? What do they say about themselves? 9. Not about who God is, not about all of the stuff necessarily that they believe. And then when I say as far as who God is, and it sounds like I contradicted myself because I did just use Jesus, right, as the example. But we all know that the man who we identify as Jesus was born in Israel and is described as a Jew. So that's why that's relevant. When I talk about him, I'm not talking about the Most High God, who the Israelites refer to as Yahuwah. So I'm talking about the man that was born and walked the earth and identified with a certain nation of people or race, as we like to say, for lack of a better word. All right, where we at? Romans 9:13. Oh, this says, as it is written, Jacob have I loved and Esau have I hated. Well, we know that Jacob was a man and that he later changed his name to Israel, right? But in church, they'll teach you that God loves everybody, right? God doesn't hate, God loves everybody. What do you mean? God does that's not biblical. Ezekiel 36:16 through 29. I should have took my notes a little bit better as far as the topics. You know what I'm saying? Hold on. There's another description in Solomon where Solomon gives a description of himself. Ezekiel 36. Now, I'm not trying to Bible bash y'all or make y'all Bible believers, but if y'all gonna speak on the Israelites and speak on the people of Israel, then I think their account on their own history need to be highlighted. Even if you say it's bullshit, they lying or whatever, we know they the ones that wrote it. And we know they know who they were. They knew who their people were and what they selves looked like. Okay, that one is more about the fall of Israel. How about this? Check this out. I got something else for you. I don't want to spend too much time searching for stuff, right? So I'm gonna take you out to some stuff that I know for a fact. Watch this. Hold on. Check this out.
Hi, shalom, shalom from Israel. This is Ola, the daughter of Jethro. And I just heard that you black people that was stolen from Africa to America, that you don't know who you are, but you are the children of Yahweh, the children of Israel. And I'm telling you, you have to come back to your homeland, here to Zion, to Jerusalem, because us, the Gentiles, we do need you. We need you to come and pray because you are our saviors. You're the one that was chosen by Yahweh to live in this land, not the Jewish people, it's you. You were stolen from Africa, they deceived you, they told you that you are slaves, but you actually the children of Israel. And it's time just to come back. Come for your people, come back for us, come back for the whole Gentiles, because only you gonna save us. So please come back to Zion.
Hmm. Those are my words. This is a woman living in modern day Israel. Right? Hold on. Watch this. Watch this. See, I'm logged into my Concrete King account. I'm not logged into my personal account because I could just go to my watch later and go to my save list and just pull up the videos that I want to, right? Oh, this one. When I find this one, you know what? I can't find it, right? The actual original video, but I got a video of one of our other sisters who has a podcast, and it looks like I'm familiar with this young lady's podcast right here, Melanin Wisdom. It is her glory, but I wasn't aware that she had this up, and this.
Roll it back. 10 fellows.
2 journeys.
Let me just reveal some things. First of all, is that the Jews who are brought in Israel, most of them are white. Not most of them, almost all of them are white, including me. I was brought in Israel from a country which is called Bulgaria. It's a European country. And I can tell you that in every European country, there are Jews.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Did you hear what he said? He said, including me. He is a so-called Jew in Israel right now, right? And he just said the Jews in Israel are really white, including me. He said he comes from Bulgaria, but he's in Israel right now living as a Jew. All right, and then people are going to say, well, you have the Jewish faith and the Jewish religion, Judaism, and then you have the bloodline and the people. Well, I'm talking about the bloodline and the people. I'm talking about DNA. I'm talking about genetics, right? And I haven't even gotten so much into who isn't, even though I'm speaking on that a little bit. It's more about who is. See, we'll let the chips fall where they may on figuring out who isn't once we know who is, because that's going to speak for itself. That's common sense, because we don't look nothing alike.
And there is so-called organization Jewish Agency, which is trying to take those Jews to Israel. If you track this organization, you can find out that this is not an Israeli organization. This is an American organization. Jewish Agency is an American organization which has the exclusive right to decide who is Jewish and who is not on this planet, and who to be taken to Israel and who's not. Now, if you do research, you will find out that in Africa, in Black Africa, they're looking for Jews only in Ethiopia. They bring Jews only from Ethiopia. And I can tell you by knowing a lot of people, Ethiopian Jews here.
Hey, look, that's been exposed too. You got to go dig and search for this information. But only like 5.6% of the so-called Ethiopian Jews actually were found to have the blood of King Solomon. 5.6% of the whole of them that say We are the Jews. We came to Ethiopia. We fled the original. We're the original Jews of antiquity, and we're here in Ethiopia. Only 5.6% of them really even had the blood. Yes, some of us went there. And yes, there is a Solomonic line in Ethiopia because we know that King Solomon had the Queen of Sheba, right? Melina, or whatever her name was, right? And that they had a son, Melanik, right? So we know about that, but that doesn't make all of them the children of Israel. It doesn't make all of them Jews. They can be Jewish by religion or whatever, or practice Judaism all they want, because that's something that white folks created anyway. We didn't create Judaism or give it that name. We just did what we did, had our faith in our God. They came later and studied our people and learned our culture and then gave it a name. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. But public domain, this is for educational purposes that I'm showing this clip. Y'all need to see this. Yeah, only look it up. Only 5.6% of the people in Ethiopia claiming to be or identifying as Jews actually have the real DNA. And when the people of Israel did flee and go to Ethiopia following the sacking of Jerusalem, they never got accepted. They didn't get love from Ethiopians.
Here in Israel, that they're treated very badly, very badly. And many of them commit suicide because they cannot take it. So they come from some place, Ethiopia, they don't have much there, but they live decent life. And when they come here and try to be humiliated and so on, some of them cannot even take it. Now, what I'm trying to say is that why from each white country this Jewish agency is trying to bring Jews, and when it's about Black Africa, they're going to Ethiopia, and this is where they stop. The only one place. Now,
what is he saying? He's asking, why is the U.S. government and Israeli government, right, in cahoots, created a shadow company posing as an Israeli company, really an American company in Israel, going and getting white Europeans, bringing them to Israel to say that they're Jews and to live as Jews. And why, when they finally do have to identify, when the voice start to get so loud, or these people screaming out of Africa, hey, we have the DNA, we are Jews. When they finally do start to acknowledge that and go, look, they only look in Ethiopia. They don't look any further than that. He's going to tell you why.
Because of the same thing, they're trying to do the white supremacy here. They try to bring white guys here and to take the supremacy over Arabs, which are the local citizens, and over Blacks, which are so far the only the Ethiopian Jews. Now, what I'm trying also to say is that another question is why America needs Israel. There is no oil like in other Middle Eastern countries. There's nothing they can be attracted to. But why do they do all these things? Why do they invest money, bring white people and so on, when they build their system of white supremacy, just like in America they build in Israel? Why? And I can tell you why. Because the true Jews, according to the Bible, you can check it in the Bible, you can read Job 30:30 and some other places. They have never been white. They have been people of color. And they have not stopped in Ethiopia. They were in Ethiopia, Sudan, and they have settled in West Africa. From West Africa, they have been taken as slaves to America. Brothers and sisters, Blacks of America.
Look, when somebody sigh and take off their glasses to look you in your eye and talk to you, that's powerful. Y'all better pay attention.
It's you. You are the true Hebrews. You are the true Hebrews from the Bible. America gonna do everything, gonna invest as much money as it has, gonna fight as much wars as they can, gonna invite as much weapons as they can just to hide this away from you. Gonna take Israel, gonna bring white people here and to tell you these are the Jews, gonna kill you, gonna kill Arabs, gonna mistreat white people like this guy, just to tell you this lie. That you are nobody and we are the Jews with all the history and so on. It has been deleted, your history. You don't know who you are. Don't forget about it. This is why America has been taking your history away, never to find out that it's all about you. I'm telling you this, please. I don't know. I don't ask you to come to Israel and to start a revolution. I'm just asking you to start thinking this way, to believe me a little bit, because I'm living in Israel and I'm part of this injustice.
He said he lives in Israel and he's part of this injustice. Just for people who didn't catch it, he said, I am from Bulgaria. There's a company coming to Europe and getting white people and taking them to Israel to pose as Jews.
Really believe that.
I want to hear what so-called black people gonna say to dispute this. The black people who believe that we Egyptians and want to follow all this other African, all these other African identities when we're not even Africans. We just fled to Africa.
People like me and you, we can bring the justice back. Thank you.
Our vaginas are absolute magic.
Let's give them the respect they deserve.
Our pleasure.
Shut up. Hold on, one more.
Y'all single-handedly own the power and you can't even see it. They know that y'all single-handedly hold the cards to all of this shit in this nation. God, please just wake up and see what kind of control you actually have. If you really want to get technical, y'all are the ones that can save this country. Because the minute that y'all actually see through their bullshit is when they lose their wealth. Talk about white privilege. They will lose their wealth. They bank on y'all. They bank on y'all remaining stagnant with their bullshit. I can't wait to see this shit unfold because I'm going to tell you, there's one by one, they waking up. Y'all better get ready. One by one, they're waking up to rich man's bullshit. And they're seeing and they're standing their ground.
Check this out. Baruch 2:30. For I knew that they would not hear me because it is a stiff-necked people, but in the land of their captivities they shall remember themselves. 2nd Esdras 6:9. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. All right. So check it. If Jacob is Israel, right? And he's the beginning that comes after the end of the world, right? What does that really mean? That doesn't mean the end of the planet. Y'all got a misconception about what the world means in the Bible times and what that word meant, right? How you have terms like a third world country, or we're from a whole nother world. You couldn't survive a day in my world. The world was not synonymous with planet, right? Worlds were nations. The end of how they were living, what was going on then, right? But okay, whatever. The end times, we're living in that now. Esau, go look and find out who Esau is. And they're not talking about one particular man because Esau and Jacob have been dead for thousands of years. So how could they still be around at the end of the world? It's talking about their bloodlines and their offspring and their people. Okay, Esau is the end of the world. The end of the world right now, who is ruling? Esau. So if you want to know who Esau is, just look at the people or the so-called race of people who are in power. And Jacob, which is Israel, a man who changed his name to Israel, and his descendants, his 12 tribes, which was what we've been talking about, us, is the beginning of it that follows. The beginning that follows the end. So when the world ends, there's going to be a new beginning, and Jacob is going to rule. Is what that is saying. Not my words. The people of Israel wrote this.
And once they lose the black vote, it's on like a Donkey Kong.
You see, so these heathens got to pay for the great deception of the children of Israel, for the great controversy of Zion. They have to pay for this. They have to pay for the fact that they got fake Jews over there in our land. They have deceived the children of
Read that.
Israel. That a lot of us don't know who we are, still calling ourselves Negroes, Afro-American, African-American, Black, all of that, Hispanic, Latinos, Puerto Rican, Dominican, Cuba. Look.
I'm going to end on that note. I think I made my point. So now, when you go back and you recall different instances, different conversations and things like that, remember when T.I. was going after the company Lords of London, so-called Jewish company, who he says financed the slave ships that brought us over here and profited all these billions of dollars off of slavery? Okay. So the same people who are in the land now, the richest people in the world, who took our wealth, also facilitated our slavery, right? They also are one of America's closest allies and who America ultimately has allegiance with, where their allegiance lies. And they support each other. America and Israel, each one of them respectively are the reason why the other can get away with the stuff that they get away with. They hold each other up. They prop each other up. Now, for all you black people who sit up and want to say that you don't have no horse in this race, it don't have nothing to do with you, it's not about you, how do you feel now after watching that? Think about that. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. Let's get the dialogue going. You know what I'm saying? And for anybody who get mad and got something bad to say about me just for presenting information, y'all just a hater. But my argument is not, don't add to it and take nothing away from it. It's strictly about disproving the black people who say we don't have nothing to do with this. I didn't present the whole case, but I gave you enough to go do some research and find out the truth if you really want to know, unless you're comfortable in the lie. It's Pac-Man Lawton, y'all, aka the Heart of St. Louis. It's been real. Shalom.